Okay, so now we're recording. So I'm going to work through, and I think some of these answers are provided. Yeah, so I'll do the odds, then let you guys do evens. So here has to find the slope of the line that passes through the 2 points. Now, in case you forgot, slope is just this. Let me give you the more technical definition of slope, or formulaic. So really just subtract the y, subtract the x's, take the ratio. So it's a ratio of differences in y to differences in x. That's what slope is. And you could say, like, for example, when you're skiing, if it's very steep slope, or when you're driving up to Tahoe, like, sometimes they'll like tell you like the grade of the road, like whether you're going, really up, up very quickly, down very quickly. It's the change in y over the change in x. Or some people like to think of the rise over the run. That's another way of thinking about it as well. So here I have a line that goes through AB. That's 2, 2, and that's 0, 0, right? So you can think of this as x1 and y1, or it doesn't really matter, or as x2 and y2, and that is x1, y1. So you do 2 minus 0 that's all this right here, over 2 minus 0 again, which would be these right here. And that's just simply going to be 2 over 2, which is 1. Or, you think about, you rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. So up 1, right 1. Or you go things like this, like, hey, I'm going up 2, right 2, up 2, right 2. So you can think of a lot of different ways. Whatever way helps you, I don't really care. Just want to make sure you get it. So the slope here is just going to be 1, because you're doing 2 over 2, which is 1. So let's look at this one now. Here's a line. Let's make these more straight. Oh, goodness. And that is bad. There we go. There we go. No, come on. I usually don't struggle drawing these lines. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so there's my line. So you could think of it like this. Here's point A. How far do you go down? And how far do you go right? Went down 2 and right 5. So therefore, it's -2 over 5. There's your slope. That's it. So that's kind of how I like to do it. It's just kind of quick and easy. But if you want, you could label the points, like A is at -4, 4. You gotta look at the scale here, because the scale is 2 units. I mean, obviously I went down 2 boxes. I should have said down 4, to be honest with you. I should have said down 4, right 10. I didn't see the scale before I did my work, because every box is worth 2 units. But again, that's all proportional, doesn't really matter. But yeah, down 4, right 10. But -4, 4 is that one. That's oh, wait one sec. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that, guys. I counted wrong. Now I just to really confuse you guys. It's down. It was down 2 boxes. It was right 4. Oh, goodness, I can't believe I did that. So it's -2 or 4, -1/2. My apologies. Please make a correction. I thought we were going 5 boxes to the right. We're going 4. My apologies. Or -4 comma 4, 4 comma 0. So you take the difference of y's and take the difference in x's. So you get -1/2. So that works also. Okay, I promise I'll get it right for the future ones. All right, I can't believe I did that. That was really bad. Find the slope of each line. Okay. So yeah, so if we count it, looks like every box here is worth 1 unit. So I go up 2, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Get it right, 4. So the slope of line AB is 2/4, which is 1/2. The slope of line CD you go up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2, still 1/2. So because of the same slope, two lines with the same slope will be parallel because it won't touch. They're rising and running the same way. So the answer is yes. Yes, those are parallel lines. Now, perpendicular is kind of interesting. The slopes will be, this is kind of a interesting one, will be negative reciprocals of each other. What does that mean? So here's an example. I'll abbreviate as NEG RECIP. Reciprocal means when you flip the fraction, and negative means you change the sign, right? So 2, I know is 2/1. Duh. And if I flip the fraction, I get 1/2. And if I tack on a negative symbol, there you go. So whenever you have two slopes that are like that, they're going to be perpendicular. Another way you could think about it as well is if the product of both slopes is -1. If you were to multiply these two together, 2 times -1/2, you would get -1. So that's another way of looking at it as well. So let me do, oh shoot. Well, sorry, yeah, odds, yeah, sorry. I'm doing odds, I thought I was doing evens. So let me do number 9 first, because 7's a little weird. So let's find the slope of AB. And let's find the slope of CD. Okay. So the slope of AB, so that's 1, 4. That's 0, 0. So it's 4 minus 0 over 1 minus 0, which of course is just 4. Then here, that's -2, 1 and 2, 0. So you take the difference in the y's, and a difference in the x's, you get 1 over -4. So 4 and -1/4 are both of my slopes. Those are negative reciprocals. If you flip the 4, you get 1/4. Change the sign, you get -1/4. Or if you multiply it together, that also works. You get -1. So the answer is yes. Those are perpendicular. Here, you have a purely horizontal, purely vertical line. That's why I say this one's a little weird. But it's good. We should talk about this. That's 3, 1. That's 3, -2. And then for C, that's -1, -1, and 5, -1. Okay. For line AB, let's get that slope. So it's 1 minus -2 over 3 minus 3. It's 3 over 0. That's a problem. You can't divide by 0. So it's undefined. The slope of CD, so I'm going to do this in green. -1 minus -1 over 5 minus -1. So you wind up getting 0 over 6. Of course, that's 0. Undefined and 0 are reciprocals of each other. And who cares if we put a negative, because you put it, negative times 0 is still 0. Any negative number times 0 is 0. So in this case, that would also be true because that's purely vertical and a horizontal line. So those are going to be at right angles anyway. If you wanted to count it, I mean, there's no run here, right? It's all rise. And here, there's no rise, it's all run. I mean, you could say like, yeah, the rise here is 3, but there's no run, so it's 0. Here, there's no rise, so the rise is 0. And the run was from -1 to 5, so it's 6. Like I could have done that over here also. Like I went up 4, right 1. Here, obviously I went down 1, right 4, -1/4. Sadie, you have a question? Go ahead.
So on number 7, if the 0 is on the top, then it's not undefined, but if the 0 is on the bottom, then it's undefined.
Yeah, and actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, because that's something that, it's interesting. I have a lot of students who get that confused. Here's the reason why. Let's dive a little deeper with number theory, right? Like, so you have like 0 divided by 4. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. What if you have 10 divided by 2? It's a very easy one. I know it's 5, right? That's because 2 times 5 is 10, right? Easy. What if I have 10 divided by 0? I don't know. It's like, 0 times a number is equal to 10. That's impossible, right? What am I going to multiply 0 to get to 10? I get nothing. 0 is nothing, right? The way you learn multiplication is like, if you have like, 2 times 3 is 6. Because if you had like, say, I mean, the way they teach it, like maybe in grade school, like, so you got like three bags here, and you got like 2 beads in each bag. Yeah, of course you have 6 beads, right? Or 6 blue balls or whatever. That's how sometimes that is taught, but I don't know. But 0 means you got nothing, right? So it's impossible to get to 10. But when you have 0 divided by 10, I know that's 0 because if I take this number here and multiply to that number, I do get 0. So when 0 is in the numerator, then yeah, you get 0. When 0 is in the denominator, it's undefined. Undefined means there's no definition, you don't know. Okay, we still got a few more here, and then we'll take a break. Well, then you can do some practice problems, and then we'll talk about it. So let me talk about again doing the evens here. Sorry, the odds here with you guys. Yeah, I'm doing the odds, and then have you guys do the evens on your own. So here you have to determine whether these are parallel, perpendicular, neither. So again, you could plot the points, or you could just do this. Calculate the slope. Do the same thing here. So I'm calling this y2. I'm calling this x2. Then I'm calling this y1 and that x1. So again, you're doing 4 minus 2 over 0 minus 2. That's going to be 2 over negative 2, which is negative 1. So they're not parallel. They're not the same. But they are perpendicular because 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Or the reciprocal, the negative reciprocal of 1 is negative 1. Because you could say, if you so desire, that's 1 over 1. And you could say that's negative 1 over 1, right? That works. Let's try this again. So I'll do 2 minus 3 over negative 5 minus negative 2. So 2 minus 3, negative 5 minus negative 2. So you get negative 1 up top and negative 3 down below. That's 1/3. Then here I'll do 3 minus 1 over 5 minus 4. 2 over 1. So I have 1/3 and 2 over 1. Those are not the same. And they're not negative reciprocals, because a negative reciprocal means you have to flip the 1/3 and put a negative sign in front. That's not happening. So in this case, I say neither. There's just two lines that intersect. That's all. That's all that's going to happen. You know, we'll probably look something kind of like this, is my guess. Just two lines that intersect. That's all. I need you have a question. Go ahead.
What was number 11?
Number 11 was perpendicular. And that's because well, I'm just undoing all my work, so I can show you that again. Oh, there we go. Pretty amazing how it remembers all this. Okay, yeah, that's because the slope of the first line was 1. The slope of the second line was -1. 1 and -1 are negative reciprocals. 1 is like saying 1 over 1. -1 is like saying -1 over 1. If I were to flip that over and put a negative sign in front, I get the same thing there. And so that will always be perpendicular lines. I mean, you could plot it too. Like here's 1, 1. Here's 3, 3. And if I plot the other line, here's 2, 2. 0, 4 is right here. Those are coming at each other at right angles. So that's another way you could look at it as well. But I mean, you can't go based on looks. You have to be precise. So you need to calculate the slopes and then compare them. If they're the same, they're parallel, obviously, because we're not going to touch from the same slope. If they're negative reciprocals, I'm telling you right now, you know, just you have to go with it. Negative reciprocals, they're going to be perpendicular. And if it's just kind of random, like for number 13, like I have 1/3 and 2, then just two lines of touch. That's all. You'd say neither. Yeah, I'll go back to number 7. Sure. Thank you, Vivian, for asking about this. For number 7, so this slope here, this line here, the slope is 0. In fact, actually, it was 0 over 6. And you could just, you could find the coordinates of points C and D if you wanted to, but that was at 5, (-1), and point C was at -1, (-1). So when you take the difference in the y coordinates and the difference in the x coordinates, you get 0 over 6. So 0. But then for the other line, the vertical line, that's at 3, (1), and 3, (-2). So you take the difference in those y coordinates, but at 1 minus -2 over 3 minus 3, I get 3 over 0. Notice how those there, they're going to be reciprocals of each other, right? Because you have 0 over a number and a number over 0. Those will be negative reciprocals of each other, and that also makes it perpendicular. I know it's kind of weird if you put a negative out in front, but then 0 over anything is 0. And of course, anything divided by 0 is undefined. Anita, do you have another question? No? Okay.
Oh, no.
Let's keep moving here. Last one, then I'll have you guys do some practice. So, and again, the order in which you do the subtract, that doesn't, you could have gone this direction. You just got to be consistent, that's all. Like I could have done 4 minus 2 over -3 minus, so I could do the first point minus the second point. That's fine too. So 2 over -4 is -1/2. That's for line 1. For line 2, 2 minus 1 over 6 minus 8, which would be 1 over -2. So those are identical. Those are the same slope. So in this case, we're going to be parallel because you have the same slope. So they rise and run the same way. All right. So over the next 12 minutes, go ahead and try 10, 12, 14. Just do the evens, basically. And then after 10 minutes, I'll share the answers. And I'll stop the recording.